Uno momento, and then we will get started. I hear ding dings. And hey guys, so sorry we're running late. If you can't see me, give me a thumbs up, making sure we're working. We were running behind tonight. Why am I not seeing us? Okay, just a moment.
I see on my Facebook it says you're live now.
Okay, we're live on Facebook. Let me make sure on YouTube, and then we'll be good to go. Why isn't it working on YouTube? Well. Hey, anybody watching us, give me just a second. And there we go. Nope, that's on Facebook. Maybe it's just delayed. Let's give it just one more second to see if we get going on YouTube. Don't want to start with the party without anybody here. Yeah, we're live. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the delay. Just wanted to make sure everybody could be with us before we got going. Happy Wine Wednesday, everyone. I hope now you hear me in the background. Hope your week has been fabulous. Hope your seahorses and reef tanks are fabulous. Hope you're sipping on some awesome Chardonnay as I am, and glad that you're with us. Our topic tonight is seahorse tank hacks, tips, and tricks. So, like, we share these things on the channel all the time, but we thought we'd bring it all together into one episode and kind of just cover all of the things that we have found helpful that might be helpful to you. And if you're in the comment section and you've got a hack, tip or trick, I can't even say it right, be sure to comment it because we want to share. And so sorry again that we're running late. I was actually talking with Paula about our seahorse and pipefish get together at the mini MACNA coming up in February, and the women in reefing at the mini MACNA coming up in February. So guys, I'll make sure to link that when we're done because you got to come to those. But that's why we were running late. So sorry. Dan got stuck at work, but he should be along hopefully soon. And happy Wine Wednesday. I'm done with my ramble. All right, so I've already got Holly, Ray, and Nicole with me, and I'll be checking the comments here in just a second. Holly's going to take us off and start us off with sharing some of the things that she has learned and considers helpful in her journey. So Holly, take it away. Let me make you big. Uh-oh, do I not have Holly anymore?
Oh, you're frozen.
Okay, are we unfrozen now?
Right. I'm here. I was
Okay.
losing you for a minute.
Sorry.
Okay, so I'm just going to show off some of the things that I found. A lot of them are just household stuff that I found useful both in my regular aquariums and for the fry. I'm going to start with one of my favorite things that I found. This is actually what they call gutter guard. You can get it at the hardware store, or I even found it online. Walmart's advertising it to 20-foot rolls for $12.99. And I found that it's the best thing for my erectus fry. From the time that they're newborn till they're actually a few months old, they like to hitch to it. And so the way I make little hitching posts for them, I also use another one of my favorite things.
Hey, Holly.
Zip tie.
Hey, Holly. Hang on one second because I think there's a double thing. It's my fault. I'm going to fix it.
Missed that?
Yeah, it's not your fault. It's my fault. Well, it's my computer's
All right.
fault, but I'm getting there. Hang on one second. It's just like
Okay.
freezing up on me real quick. Oh, darn it. Sorry, everyone. Love when that
That's okay.
happens. It's like totally frozen on me. Hang on one second. You know, I think my computer's just catching up. Hopefully.
All right.
We are hoping. Oh, Lordy.
Time to take a sip then.
Oh, no kidding. Take a sip. Everybody take a break, take a sip. This stuff happens, you know? All right. Yeah, I don't even know what to do. Hey, anybody watching, are we frozen? Am I frozen? Is she frozen? Are we frozen? And are you seeing double zoom? Is the question of the hour. Because it's not
Looks
working on
fine
mine.
here.
It looks okay on your end?
Yeah, on my end it does.
Okay. Oh, here we go. It started moving. Give me 1 second. It's just delayed. It's just going slow. In fact, let me do the weekly. Get offline, girls. They're probably online, I would bet. Okay, let me see what difference this makes. Sorry, everyone. You know. Okay, now we only have one, right? Now you can still see
That's
Holly.
okay.
And I'm going to hope that it works a little better. Holly, I'm going to hush and let you continue.
Okay, so we got the first part, right?
Show it again, just in case,
All right.
please.
So this is what I use for my fry to hitch to. Works from the time they're newborn, actually for the first few months when they start to get bigger. And that's a gutter guard, which you can find at hardware stores like Home Depot. I found it today. I just wanted to look up and see how much it costs because mine I actually found in my yard because my husband does construction, so we just have it around. But there's two 20-foot rolls for $12.99 at Walmart, which is enough to probably last you forever. And then I use another one of my favorite things is zip ties. So what I do is I cut off a piece of the gutter guard and I'll zip tie it to like an air wand, which you can find like at aquarium stores or Walmart or wherever. And then I just sit that in my fry tank and they can hitch to it.
Hey, when you hold it up, go slow because there's still a little bit of a delay. So just like when you hold it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's gutter guard and it's zip tied to a air stone bar. And it does float a little bit, so that's why you have to attach to something to hold it. And then when you get zip ties, one thing you want to make sure you find the all plastic ones because some of them inside this little tiny hole will have metal.
Ooh.
So you want to be really careful when you're shopping for the zip ties that you do get all plastic.
Gotcha. Good tip.
Another hitching thing that a lot of us use, plastic chain.
Mm-hmm.
And this I found at the local Home Depot. It comes in white and yellow. But I've noticed if you go online and look for the plastic chain, it comes in a million colors. So if you find it online, you have way more color choices. Next I've got, this was actually ideas I got from another seahorse friend, Heather Heilman. I was watching her videos in her tanks, and she uses shower curtain rings for hitches and suction cups to hold things.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll hold your chains, it'll hold shower curtain rings, probably the gutter guard, anything you want to put in the tank. And so I like that.
And where do you get the chains though, Holly? Did you say?
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh,
I was
sorry.
saying Home Depot sells them. They have at the Home Depot where I live, they just have the white and yellow.
Mm-hmm.
But I've noticed if you go online, and just Google plastic chain, it comes in a million colors. So you can find it online and it's sold by the foot. It's not that expensive. So you can do all kinds of colors with that if you want to. Another thing I use for a feeding dish, I use plastic soap dishes with suction cups so I can suction cup it to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Inside, I didn't put one in here, but I use like little clamshells or something, like if the dish, like this one has holes in it, or you can get like sheet plastic from Home Depot and cut it to fit, to cover up the holes in your dish. So that's another favorite thing.
And I'm sorry,
Um,
Holly, I'm doing two things at once. Why did you want to cover up the holes in the dish? Say that
so
one more
the
time.
food doesn't fall through.
Okay, gotcha.
Which my seahorses, they knock it all over the place anyway, but at least it starts out in the dish.
And do you have your dish in your hand? I didn't.
Yeah. So this is one. I have a bunch of different ones. I just look for them like when I go to like variety stores, like we have Big Lots here, or you could probably find them at Walmart or the Bed and Bath store.
Yep.
Anything you find for the tank, you just want to make sure it's all plastic.
Yes.
Nothing that'll hurt the seahorses. And so when I see something that'll work, I just grab it and keep a supply of those.
Absolutely. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No problem. Another favorite tool most of us know and love this is the turkey baster. So that, of course, is great for feeding. You can use it for broadcast feeding or target feeding. I use it to fill their dish. Um, it's great when the fry are learning to eat frozen food. They learn what that turkey baster is all about pretty quick. So it's a great tool for feeding. I also use it sometimes to suck the fry out of the main tank when they're born. Um, Suck up uneaten food sometimes, all kinds of uses. Great tool, that one.
I don't want to interrupt you again, but I just wanted to say she's sharing all her fabulous tips and tricks, and then when she's done, we're gonna do a little test with maybe someone else in the stream to see if try to fix the bandwidth thing. But apologies, guys. She's sharing great tips though. You can hear her, and when she does show it, you're seeing it. So we're still good. Go on, Holly. It's probably something on my end, but go ahead.
Okay. All right. So another one of my favorite tools. Um, this is an infrared heat thermometer.
Ooh.
They sell these at any place where you can buy tools like Home Depot, Harbor Freight, Lowe's, some of the places we have where I live. They cost about $25 to $35, but I use this all over the house for reading tank temperatures. When I'm mixing salt water, I use this to read the temperature so I can match my tanks. The only thing, this one a few days ago accidentally dropped it in a bucket of salt water.
Oh
I don't
no.
do that because now it's telling me my tanks are 174 degrees. So it needs
Yes.
to be calibrated.
Hey, if you can, when you unfreeze, sorry, Holly, again, it's probably me. Hold it up, and I have one if you're not able to, but I know exactly what you're talking about. And oh wait, have you moved on, or are we backing up? Sorry,
I have, but you need me to hold it longer?
hang on, it's saying we're unstable. Okay, the infrared thing though, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Have you had the problem where the battery goes low and it doesn't tell you, and it starts giving you wacky?
No, honestly, this one, geez, I've had it for a year and the battery hadn't gone out. It was working great until I dropped it in the bucket of salt water the other day. And then I bought a new one though, and you have to test it with a regular aquarium thermometer to make sure it's right. Because I bought a new one the other day, and it's calibrated wrong.
Oh,
It's
geez.
10 degrees off. So I
So
have to return it and get another one.
okay, so how do you recalibrate?
It has to be done by a professional.
Okay, and you know what?
So,
Oh
so
my
like the
goodness.
one I just bought, I'm just going to take it back and exchange it and then test it, see if the new one reads right. And it should, it's probably just, a freak thing. I don't know. But this one worked great for a long time. So,
Okay, well, speaking of freak thing, we're going to take a momentary pause because I think it's replaying everything you just did. Guys in the audience, I don't know what's going on. It's kind of wacky this week. You tell me, can you see Holly redoing everything she just did, or is it just on my end? Holly, you're the star of the show,
I
only you're
can
kind of
move.
looking in slow motion.
I can move.
You guys let me know. I'm gonna try one more thing to try to fix this. Seriously, let me tell my children's no internet at all. I'm serious. Okay, no phone, no internet. All right, so trying to fix this up, guys. Really, really sorry. And let me see what happens if I do this. Because I want you to get all the tips, hacks, and tricks. And I don't want to you guys to miss anything because I feel like it's replaying Holly over and over again. Ray, I know you always watch on the side. Are you seeing her replayed over and over again? Okay. All right then. Oh my gosh. I hate when this stuff happens,
Sorry,
you
yeah,
guys.
I looked at the YouTube and it's all jerky and very slow.
But does it look like Holly's still talking?
Just a second, I'll just go back to it.
Or I can look myself. Sorry. But yeah, to
Yeah, it
me,
looks like the same thing playing over and over.
yeah, and I don't have any idea why, and I don't know how to fix that one. All
I
right.
don't know how the sound is because I've got that muted.
Actually, you know what? Now I see Holly glaring at me, so I think we've caught up. I know you're not glaring at
I
me,
just have to go in slow motion.
right? And I just want to just trying different things here, guys. All right, that deletes you. What if I put? Sorry, guys, trying to fix this. Give me one more second. Trying to make it good for you guys instead of all right.
Now she disappeared.
Okay, now she should be back. Holly, look at me.
I'm right here looking at you.
Okay. Yeah, it's still behind. All right. Well, I'm not sure, guys. Maybe have her leave and rejoin. I don't think it's her, to be really honest. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm not thinking that it's her. Um,
I think something's a bit funny
with what, Marina?
is the audio sort of cutting out?
No, it's like literally replaying what she did. It's really, really weird.
Bizarre.
Yeah. So, okay, all right. You know what? We are going to do that. I'm really sorry to everybody in the audience. I'm actually working on making shorter versions of our Wine Wednesday with the important facts included. So we'll get to it and we'll make sure you have a shorter version. But Holly, I'm going to say, can you leave and come back and just see if that
Yeah.
helps? I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Let me see what happens.
All right. And if it's on my end, guys, I'm not sure what to say. Now we're looking at Ray. Let's make this gallery view. We will figure it out, but and yeah, Troy, if you're still watching, I really appreciate your recommendation about bandwidth. But the thing is, we do this every week and don't have these problems. And I like pay for like fiber, 1,000 MB, blah blah blah. So I don't know. I can maybe I'm being throttled, darn internet company. Maybe that's it. But let's give it a second. And I feel like, hey, you know what, Ray, you talk for a second. Let's see if you're whacked
Oh,
out.
yeah. I talk too much all the time, but then when I need to, then I can't.
See, I feel like it's a little bit behind, but not like Holly was. So let me let her back in because she had a lot of stuff to share.
With that infrared thermometer that she was using,
Mm-hmm.
I tried them and I couldn't get any accuracy out of them.
Really?
Yeah, I've had two of them and I gave up. The first one was a Canadian Tire one, branded from Canadian Tire, and the second one was oh damn, a regular tool company brand on it. I can't remember what it is now, but this memory of mine doesn't work too well anymore.
You're fine, but they have come out with some new ones, especially since COVID. You know, um,
Yeah, it could be. They could have improved them since then, because the last one the tool company brand that I had was probably 2 or 3 years ago now.
Gotcha. Well, the one that I bought, I really like, except for it goes low on batteries and I don't know it. And then it's telling us all we have temperatures, and it's like, I had never even thought. It's actually, I'm so glad that Holly mentioned it though, because it's actually a really excellent tip. Because I never thought to use them on a tank. I never thought that that would even be. And if you guys didn't see when she held it up, she's literally talking about. I have one that's handheld that you're using for humans. You know, the gun looking thing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
I don't think you can interchange them though, because mine won't work on people.
really,
Yeah, for
all right.
some
Well,
reason, because we tried it and it didn't read our temperatures right, but it works good for like barbecuing. Like it'll read like your oven temperature, the temperature of water, a whole bunch of different stuff, but it doesn't work on people for some reason. I don't know why. I
gotcha.
guess mechanics use them. They use them for like engine work and stuff like that too. So the ones I get them from the hardware store.
Gotcha. Yeah, I got mine from CVS, so I'm really pro here. Okay, Holly, I'm gonna make you big again, and here's the bottom line. Holly has some excellent tips and tricks, and she's willing to share. So if it's a little delayed, Holly's gonna do it a little slower, and if it's messed up, I'll fix it later. But you're with us, and start commenting away your tips, tricks, and hacks, and we're gonna give Miss Holly the spotlight again and let her continue. And if she does a little then just be like, "Hey, we love you, Holly." All right, go ahead, Holly.
Okay. So the next thing I just discovered really recently, and this is for cleaning my acrylic tanks. It's Mr. Clean Magic Erasers.
Oh
Which
yes.
I never would have thought of that, but when I got the new grow out tank, it's a big acrylic tank. It had some scratches, so my husband wanted me to Google and look up how to polish it and get scratches out, what that kind of things that I could use. And in the midst of doing that, I discovered in a reef keeping forum, they were talking about cleaning algae off the acrylic tanks with a magic eraser. And I read it pretty thoroughly to make sure it was safe because I
Right.
had my doubts at first. You always want to make sure something's safe. And I was confident enough after reading everybody's input that it was worth trying. And I have never had an easier time cleaning my acrylic tank than when I started using Magic Eraser. I love it.
I just have to say I agree with you 110%. That was a game changer for me also. Magic erasers. I'm really quick before you go on. Ray, Nicole, Cheryl, Marina. Do you guys use them?
No,
I have.
Nice. Cheryl, do you welcome Cheryl? We're having a little technical difficulties, but we're going for it anyways, and we're glad to have you guys in the audience sticking with us, even though we're having them. But Cheryl, do you use magic erasers? Are you unmuted?
Yeah,
Oh,
I got tied up.
no problems.
All of a sudden it hit me. It's like almost 8 now.
We were like 20 minutes late to begin with. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're all a little behind. No worries.
And we're having technical difficulties, so it's just a bad week. But we love each other. We're still here. But do you use magic erasers to clean your tanks? Cheryl? Okay. All right. I think it's just technical difficulties. Sorry guys, we're just gonna try to wing it and get through it. I think everybody's delayed for some reason. Go ahead, Holly.
All right, you ready for what's next?
Yes, please.
So the next thing is knee highs or pantyhose. I found knee highs are cheaper. You can get a big pack for for less. I got tired of using my pantyhose. So what I use that for is with my fry, when I start putting them where they have filtration and things, I
Yeah.
use that. I'll zip tie it to the filter intake so little tails and things don't get caught in there. People also use it to make bristle worm traps, and I haven't been successful with that use. I haven't been able to catch any bristle worms in pantyhose so far. So I don't use it for that, but some people do. But it's good for covering stuff up that you don't want the seahorses to get stuck in.
Yep.
So that's what I use it for.
Hey, Holly, really quick question on the pantyhose. So
Mhm.
you use them to cover like wave makers, power heads, all that, right?
Yeah, and basically when the fry get a certain age, when they're a little bigger, maybe like an inch or so, where they're not tiny,
Yep.
I start using filtration besides the sponge filter. I
Hmm.
start with a sponge filter when they're newborns,
Right.
but as they grow, I step up the filtration because I don't have the fry set up with the round tubs and all that yet.
Right.
I'm using regular tanks. So I do put filtration on it, and I use that to zip tie it over the intake. And at that point, they're strong enough, they don't get sucked to it.
Right.
But if they want to hang on to it, their tails can go in those little slots I found.
When they're
So
that
that,
little, you're right.
they have tiny tails. So I zip tie some the toe of a knee-high stocking. Like I said, I like the knee-highs because they're cheaper and you can get a bunch of them. I don't need the whole stocking length. I just need a piece. So I use that and zip tie it on.
Nice. The reason I was asking is because I used pantyhose, just like you're describing, to cover my wave makers at first. But then I ran into the problem where it was almost it was affecting the flow. Um,
Yeah.
like it would push the pantyhose out, and I tried to readjust. And I'll talk about my solutions in a little bit, but you're talking about covering a sponge, so that's a different. So I just wondered if you had the same issues with it, but
Yeah, or not a sponge really, but the
right,
plastic intake tube, the
right,
kind that has slots in it.
right. Go ahead.
Uh, Next on the list, hand blender. Just like you use for making milkshakes. And this is what I use to blend enrichment for when I'm feeding the brine shrimp.
I have a bullet, but go on.
Uh,
Wait. With the hand blender, you said you use it to mix your enrichment. Can you
so
describe
it
that
comes,
a bit more?
yeah, it comes in a powder and you blend it with water for 2 minutes. So that's what I use to blend it. Or if I was going to use like spirulina powder, and water to make a shake for the artemia when I was raising those, or copepods or what have you. That's what I use to blend it.
Gotcha. Okay, go ahead. And anybody asking questions, I promise we'll get to them. But go on, Holly. Sorry. She's like, you're
Babies.
putting me on the show. Dang it. Go ahead.
So next I have, this is a baby syringe.
Ooh,
And what I use this for is when I need to do water tests. I have one for each tank so that I don't mix up water and cross contaminate. So I like this one. This is a newer one I found. You can actually preset it to milliliters so it doesn't suck up more than you need. And
nice.
my API tests are 5 milliliter little bottles. So this will suck up exactly 5 milliliters, and I shoot it into my little test bottle and ready to go. And I
Wait,
have
wait,
this,
wait, real quick. So you can actually set it to only pull up as much as 5 milliliters?
yeah. And this is the first one I found that's like that. I lost my I had an older one that didn't do that. And so I went shopping and I got some more of these. And yeah, now they're high tech, apparently. So you can preset it to a dose. like of medication, I guess, for babies or whatever, but it works great for the Seahorse tanks.
Nice. And guys, the ugly face that I just made was not at Holly. It was at the daughter who is fired because she didn't plug in my computer. Hopefully this will make things better. All right. Cross fingers. All right. Go on, Holly. Sorry.
um, super long tweezers, tongs,
Mm.
whatever you want to call them. And honestly, the main thing I use this for is pulling bristle worms out of my tank. But it's great for anything you need to grab in your tank when you're reaching down in the water and stuff's far away. So
And what's it made of? Because like isn't there a big fear of metal and all that?
this is a coated titanium. I think this one is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very
It's
nice.
got rubber tips. It does a good job of grabbing the bristle worms, by the way.
Holly,
Yeah.
real quick, little side note: when you're doing your ammonia tests with API, if
Uh-huh.
you fill the tube half full, you only use 5 drops, and you double the life of your test kit.
Oh, you can only use 5. You don't have to use the 8, huh?
So it goes,
You use half the amount of water.
yeah, you use half the amount of water in the tube. You're supposed to put in 10 drops and fill up to the line. But
8.
if you only
Yeah,
fill
my
it up
tests are 8.
half full, you only
Okay.
use 5 drops.
So divide it all by half, huh?
It,
Nice.
it works for ammonia. Well, you can do it with the others.
Hey,
That's a
really quick though, Cheryl, does that, I'm just curious because that's a great tip. We're doing tips, hacks, and tricks. There we go. But I'm curious, is it more susceptible to error? Meaning like, might it not detect as much because you're not doing it properly, or are you just game good to go? I feel like she can't hear me. Holly, did you hear me?
I did, yeah. I'm wondering if it's delayed, maybe, or so, yeah, because I don't think she heard you. Can you hear us, Sharon? I don't think
Okay.
she could hear.
Okay, well, we'll keep going. Sorry. Yeah, okay, we'll just keep going. Go ahead, Holly. Go on.
All right. These are Artemia sieves I use for all kinds of stuff. Actually, when I feed the seahorses, there's 2 in here because the 2 I use are out. But I use like the biggest one when I'm straining my frozen mysis under the kitchen sink, to rinse it off.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have the nice big ones left in there. And then I suck that out, with the turkey baster, put it in water so they float a little bit, suck them up. That's how I feed the seahorses. And then of course the smaller sizes you can use to strain your baby brine shrimp, your copepods, or they come in different sizes. So that's a handy tool that I love.
Okay, and it was called what? Sorry.
They're Artemia sieves, and I got these from Ray knows where I'm talking about. It's the place that does all the brine shrimp direct.
Shrimp direct.
Yeah, that's where I get them.
If anybody watching can actually hit up Dan, I have his. The reason I didn't hear the name is because I mispronounce it. Probably I called it sieves instead of sieves.
Yeah, so
Oh, well.
I think it's sieve. I'm not
Tomato,
sure.
tomato, whatever.
It says both ways.
Right. So, but either way, he's got a really cool kit that has like different sizes. But I'm not even sure if they're still for sale. So if you can still get them, get them. If not, nana nana boo boo. All right. All right. Go ahead, Holly.
It came with 4 sizes, and it's got all the sizes listed on it. I don't have my glasses on right now, so I can't tell you what sizes are, but they were all the sizes I need and then some. So
Nice.
The next thing I have here, this is called an ink bird. And
Oh, yeah.
somebody on one of our chats actually introduced me to this handy tool. It controls your temperature, and it can control chillers as well. Either way, heating or cooling. It's got, an outlet where you can plug in, which device. And the reason I use that is because on my fry tanks, because they're small, I use little heaters like that you would put in like a beta tank or something. So the heaters are preset to 78 degrees, which is too warm, of course, for the seahorses. So I plug them into the Inkbird and I set the Inkbird temperature for 70 degrees so that it cuts the current to the heater when the heater goes above 70. When it's got a probe. I didn't show you that part, but the way it works is there's a probe that you put in the tank that reads the temperature of the water, and it'll turn your devices on base or off based on that reading.
And
Does
what
that
are the
make
two
sense?
plugins for?
Well, there's one for heating and one for cooling.
Right. Gotcha.
And I've run multiples off of one of these. Like I have 2 fry tanks going right now, but they're in the same room. They're next to each other. So I figure the water's the same temperature. So I have the probe in one of the tanks, and it turns on the heater in both the tanks when it reads a certain temperature. I
Gotcha.
use like a splitter, so a thing that splits them, like an extension cord or something.
Nice. I'm going to interrupt you one more time to say, anyone in the audience, I think I figured out for whatever reason, if I do things a certain way, then Holly is up to speed and not speeding up or slowing down. So if anything occurs in the stream and I don't catch it, message me right away in the comment section, because I'm going to stick to what we're doing that I think is going to work now. Go on, Holly. Sorry.
All right, this is my last thing. I mean, it's not the only cool thing that I could tell you about, but it's the last thing I'm going to. so,
Gotcha.
so this is a clip-on fan, and I use these. I clip them on the top of my tank in the summertime because I don't have a chiller. So it's one way that you can help keep the temperature down in your tank. You have to really watch when you're using fans because the water evaporates a lot quicker. You have to replace a lot more water.
Gotcha. So you found that works. I mean, like, do you feel like that works equal to a chiller, or?
No, I'm sure it doesn't. But it does a good enough of a job to where
It's working.
Yeah, it works well enough. I'll put it that way.
So if you can't do what you want to do, that's one way to do it.
Yeah,
right?
I use bags of ice also. I'll float bags of ice in the top of the tank or in the sump and use the fans and whatever I need to do.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I'm sorry that technology kind of screwed up your share. What I think we might do, guys, if you feel like you didn't get Holly's tips, tricks, and hacks, then what I might do is maybe me and Holly can do a private Zoom later. I can record it and we can post it as a separate video, because she gave a lot of good tips that have helped her and worked for her. So if you didn't catch it in this stream, let me know and we can always do a separate video. Mermaid's Reef also said they make some of the dual heating. Okay, they make some that are dual heating also. Bulk Reef Supply sells them. Thank you. Yes. And I will go through the questions too. But Cheryl, can you hear me now?
I can hear you,
Okay.
but it sounds like there's somebody else talking in the background.
Huh. Does it sound like that on the stream, guys? My daughter is talking in the background. You want me to go?
I can
No.
hear you, yes.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to ask, because I want to cover people commented on the posts that I made, telling their tricks, tips, and hacks, if I can say it right. So I want to share that, but I want to give you guys all the chance to share what you've learned, what's helped you, what you figured out. It doesn't matter if it's products. It could be, you know, oh, I figured out that seahorses like flow and this is how much, whatever. So do you have any tips, tricks, or hacks that have changed the way you do things? Cheryl, I was directing that at you. Okay. I don't know
Okay.
what's going on again. Sorry.
I'm having trouble because it sounds like there's two of you talking at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am
That's better.
so sorry. I don't know what to do about it. Does it sound that way to everybody else?
It doesn't to me.
Okay. Hey, Cheryl, just for the hope of it, why don't you leave and come back? Can you do that? Because I want your tips,
Yeah.
tricks, and hacks. Sorry, guys. It's probably something I did, as usual. But yeah, okay. Miss Marina, any tips, tricks, or hacks to share?
I think Holly's covered a lot of them.
Yeah.
I really like Holly mentioned, the gutter guard and the turkey basters come in really handy. I don't have one on me at the moment, but I quite like bristleworm traps to help catch bristleworms.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I have one of those too. I use that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not trying to put you guys on the spot, and obviously this is just like technologically messed up. I'm curious if you guys in the audio is fine on this end. Okay, because I actually heard the echo that Cheryl was talking about right there. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking it's a problem with Zoom because I'm seeing some notifications on Zoom. So really, I apologize, guys. We can always redo this another time. But anyways, no, I really liked, my favorite thing that Holly shared was the magic erasers. Just because it
Yeah.
was such a game changer for me.
They
Like,
really are.
oh my gosh, like when you have just a seahorse tank that's just a pair of seahorses, or you have a large seahorse tank that's got a bunch of filtration in the sump, it's different. But when you're talking about a smaller tank with just a pair, or a fry tank or something like that, when you're trying to do water changes and cleaning every day instead of weekly, bi-weekly, etc., those magic erasers are amazing. And for those that are in the reef community that know that, microfauna is a good thing in most cases, when it comes to seahorses, you're just constantly trying to beat that organic load. And so, yeah, magic erasers are my friend. Let me try to see if Cheryl's coming back in now. And she is. Sorry, Cheryl, for making you wait. All right. And we're all frozen again, aren't we? Okay. Yeah, I think it's Zoom, guys. So sorry. But I'm thinking it's Zoom. All right, Miss Cheryl, can you hear me a little better now?
That's much better.
Okay, good. All right, well, I wanted to give you the opportunity. I wanted to give you the opportunity to share any tips, tricks, or hacks. Look, I got it right. That you wanted to share before I move forward.
Okay. Well, my favorite is my K1 media reactors. Basically, years ago, I had a whole bunch of coral life skimmer. Well, and so I hated them as skimmer.
Yes.
And what I did is I gutted them, cut the insides out of them.
Oh, wait. Let me make you big because you're showing us products here. Hang on.
Let me go on.
All right, let me make you big. All right, show us again, Miss Cheryl.
Basically, I took out the insides of the skimmer, drilled holes in the chamber and block the lower drain with a rock, piece of rock. You pop up here. You can drop an air line in the top, a window screen over the top, and you've got a media reactor.
Nice. Okay, quick question. And I know you actually did this with me on a video, and I'll have to find it. But where do you drill the holes?
Well, if you look, you can't see them really very well right now.
Just point.
There's holes here. There's holes all the way around.
Okay. And the
It-
holes allow the water to flow through it and keep it moving. Is that how it works?
There's a hole.
Yes.
There's a hole right,
Yep.
and you can even go down lower.
So, for some reason you're cutting out a little bit, but I'm seeing what you're saying. And so you're saying you cut hole, you hated the skimmer. It didn't work for you as a skimmer. So you drilled holes in it. You put a rock to stop the bottom, to stop.
This is the drain.
Gotcha.
The drain.
So you stop the drain with a rock, you fill it with K1 media, and then the airline is required to make it turn.
Right.
Okay.
And you just drop an rigid air line down the top, and
You're good. And then how did you use the pieces that we're seeing right now? How did you hook it up? Just regularly?
yeah, I just hook up a pump here
Mm-hmm.
where the original pump would have been anyway, and it flows water in.
Yep. I'm just asking for explanation for anybody who's watching who hasn't seen this before. And why do you like K1 media? Sorry, why do you like K1 media?
One, it's inexpensive. Two, it's self-cleaning. It's self-cleaning. It self-cleans itself because basically it's continually moving around, so it's knocking off any debris
Mm-hmm.
back into the sump. And so it doesn't require a lot of maintenance. It's very inexpensive.
And so I'm curious, once you set up a K1 media reactor, as you've described and shown us, do you ever have to change it out, or is there any kind of lifespan to it, or are you good until you like recycle a tank or whatever?
Once you get it cycled,
You're good. Yeah. And so and I think another tip, trick, or hack, and this is just for people that are actually like interested in breeding, because when you're breeding, you need to be able to set up a tank quickly. And we've talked about bacteria and that kind of thing on different episodes, but Cheryl, Dan, and other people and everybody actually keep K1 media cycled and spinning to add to new reactor anytime you need to, or a new basket or whatever. So Cheryl's invention is really excellent because if you have cycled K1 media, you can add it to, you can add it to your little DIY reactor at any time and start up a tank instantly. Nicole, I saw you. You got to go to bed. No worries. If you wanted to share anything, I'll shush so you can. But if not, have a good night. We're messing up anyways tonight. No worries.
No, I honestly, I think Holly covered it all. I'm so sorry. I've
Right.
just been working a lot of work. I work a lot, and I'm up really early.
Hey, Nicole, next week I want to start with you and cover what's going on with you. No matter the topic, we got to start with you because we haven't caught up with you lately. But thank you for coming.
No worries. If I'm not at work, I will be here.
I know you always are. We love you.
All right. Have
And
a good night, guys.
You too.
Love you, Nicole.
And Holly did do an excellent job covering all these tips and tricks. But Cheryl, I got off on a tangent here. Was there anything else, any other tips or tricks you wanted to share?
Well, the thing with the K1
Yes.
media is it converts nitrites to nitrates.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, you don't have to worry about that as much, right?
Uh, I guess my only other thing that I can think of would be you if you can yeah if you can build a sump. I mean, I turned all my 29 gallons tanks into sumps.
Hmm. Absolutely. No, you're right. And I'm putting everybody on the spot by saying, "What's your tips, tricks, and hacks?" And you're like, "What do you want me to talk about? Do you want me to talk about equipment? Do you want me to talk about products? Do you?" I was ill prepared for this Wine Wednesday, y'all. I'm sorry. We'll probably redo it in the future. Glad you're still with us. Sorry about the confusion. And I'm going to go to comments very quickly, very soon, to find out what you're saying, and we can answer any questions. But we will redo this one, I promise, when we have the technological crap figured out. So Ray, I'm curious. Anything you wanted to add? What tips, tricks, or hacks? Like, what I'm looking for is you started keeping seahorses. When you started keeping seahorses, nobody knew anything. Holly's covered some products and some ways that she's figured things out. I'm going to tell what Heather and other people said on the comment section. Cheryl shared her media reactor, K1 media reactor. What has helped you along the journey? Like, what now? What do you wish you knew then that you know now? Everything, right?
Well, first of all, I'm learning something new every day, even though I knew it yesterday.
Right.
I have cognitive impairment, and so the memory doesn't work like it does for you people when you're younger.
No
and to
excuse.
think
We
of,
want all your tricks.
well, for
Just
me,
kidding.
there's probably so many, and I don't think of them as tips or tricks or anything like that, because I work on keep it simple, stupid,
Yes.
the KISS principle. And so my whole career, both the reefing and before that freshwater, since back in grade 5, back in 1954 or something like that. No, 51, 52, early 50s anyway, when I started into the aquatics.
Right.
And everything has been done on the simple. And so if I need to do something, I look around the house for what I have and I make do with what I have. But for me now to sit here and to think of all the things that I do,
Right.
because it's just something that comes natural to me all the time, I don't think of it. Like the gutter guards Holly was talking about, I've used that for at least a decade and never thought of it as a tip or trick or something like that. And so there's probably so many things that I've done over the years.
Well,
It
the
just
cool thing is
doesn't
though
come to
that
mind because it's just second nature
right.
just to use whatever I've been using.
And I'm putting you on the spot, so I totally get it. Sorry, we'll do this better another time. But in your case, Ray, you have a website, right?
Yes.
And it shares some of your tips and tricks, like your
Oh, yeah.
dwarf setup. Yeah.
Oh, I've got a what do you call them? A Swiffer, not a Swiffer, something like a Swiffer. The dollar store had these things on sale that have a handle and the mop part on it got a ball and socket type of thing there. So I cut one down and made it into a cleaner for cleaning my tanks, and I
Nice.
still use it. And I only made the one, so when I'm using it in after I've used it in one tank, then I bleach it, and then dip it in the Chloramex and dry it out before I use it in another tank. But it works great just with the one short piece of handle on it, but then I've got the extensions that I can put it on for when I work on the 90s, on the 90-gallon tanks. Then I put 2 extensions on it so I can sit and do the bottom of it. My tanks are all bare bottom,
Right.
and so it's nice. And I don't have to reach down in to move things around because I just move them with this little cleaner. I don't know, I might have put some other things on there, but usually the things that are on my site are like back in early 94, I guess. I built my own hoods and things like that. Everything I've built myself, the skimmers, the hoods, and everybody told me I couldn't keep corals with my hoods because I was using fluorescent lighting.
Mm-hmm.
But on a 90-gallon tank, I would have 8 40-watt fluorescent tubes on them. Half of them would be actinic, and the other half were GE Daylight Ultras, they were known as back then. You couldn't buy them in the store. You had to buy them in boxes of 30. Now, most people couldn't do that, but I did it because I had so many tanks. And to me, 30 light tubes was nothing.
Right.
And so my corals did quite well. But then
Nice.
again, I was into
Soft corals and
soft corals,
Yeah.
LPS corals. I love LPS corals because of all the movement they have to them. There's
Yeah.
some nice colors with the SPS, but it doesn't have the same effect on me. Whether it's because I started with the other first, I don't know.
Sure.
But any of the SPS that I've had, they just never ever did anything for me. And so they just sat in the tank, and that was about it.
Well, now I'm an SPS girl. I love my sticks, but
Yeah.
not in my Seahorse tank because the Seahorses hurt him. Blah blah blah. We've been through it. But Ray, I wanted to. I've got something to show you myself, but I wanted to ask about your automated dwarf system.
Well, Jerry, that's not that's Jerry's, Jerry Gunn.
Okay.
It's just,
Oh, Jerry, who comes to the stream all the time?
yeah, he
Oh.
started coming here after
Jerry.
I was talking about it. Jerry and I have been talking for a while. He used to email me all the time, and we're about this setup that he has, and asking me what I thought about different things, and I would give him what I have. Oh, Jerry says he's here, so you
Hi,
can
Jerry.
talk to Jerry.
Credit to Jerry.
If you ever want to know about this system and get him to show you, just invite him on here so he can come on live, and maybe he'll be able to use his camera or whatever to show you the setup and explain it on a night here where maybe you don't have another topic to do.
And now you know, Jerry, I'm going to message you right after the show. You're coming on. Ray already invited you. You're here. And, we can always pre-record if you feel like it or whatever. We want you here. We want you on here. Go on, Ray. Sorry.
Now I forgot what I was saying.
No, I was asking you about the automated dwarf system, but you know what? We should wait and have Jerry talk about it. I agree.
Yeah, I sure can't talk about it like Jerry can.
Jerry?
I don't have his kind of expertise, that's for sure.
There we go. We want Jerry on here, and he's glad to give a presentation. So he's locked in, y'all. We're going to get it from Jerry. Hey, Cindy. Hey, everybody. I'm going to go through the questions in just a second. Hey, Farm Boy. Hey, everybody. I'm so sorry we had technical difficulties. I'm just trying to get through the stream,
Jerry, is it okay if I send her your email?
Jerry, if that would be okay. And while we're going through that, I was just going to say, as we were talking about cleaning, this is a very, very small tip, trick, whatever you want to call it. And we have many more. And now that we've had technical difficulties, we're going to have to redo hacks, tips, and tricks because there's so many that are so important that, and I wanted Dan to be here and he wasn't able to because he was working. So we'll definitely do this topic again, you guys, and I appreciate you guys being here anyways, but yeah. Anyways, one of the things that I came up with for seahorses, very, very simple. But the bottom line is, if you have too big of a tank, like in my smaller tanks, I will use a magic eraser or whatever. If I'm doing tank transfer for fry, or if I have tubs or whatever with a sump, I will use the magic eraser to clean the inside of the tank. And that's a tip. If you have seahorses, the microfauna on the glass isn't always a good thing. It usually is. I mean, I don't want to say it's a bad thing because it is a good thing, but if you're dealing with fry or if you're new to seahorses, you just want to keep organics low is the bottom line. And while that microfauna is also adding to taking up those organics, I just feel like I'm going off on a tangent. I just feel like if you're dealing with fry or if you're new to seahorses, you just want to keep it as clean as possible. All right. So I always
Tell my seahorses we want to see each other.
Right, exactly. And so, oh, and that's another tip or trick is if you have seahorses that are shy or they're new and they're not eating properly and you're worried about them, one of the things you can do also to color them up. If you have seahorses that you got and they were yellow and they turned dark, the first thing you can do is check what you have inside your tank because we can all vouch for the fact that if you have gray rocks, you're going to have gray seahorses. If you have yellow, hitching posts or like Holly showed us the chains, you're going to have yellow seahorses. I have a video that I can post when we're done where I had a bright yellow seahorse. And in the tank, I had a black sponge filter because it was a smaller transitional tank. And the seahorse loved that sponge filter, hung out by it, and turned black. And I was like, what the heck? And Dan can tell you also that red decorations will make a seahorse turn dark also. But anyways, I've gotten way off topic. My point was, if you want your seahorses to color up, one of the tricks is to put blue backing, like the cheap backing or siding or paint, whatever.
Sky blue.
Sky blue, not dark blue, light
Sky
blue.
blue.
Yes, sky blue on 3 sides of the tank. So that doesn't look pretty if you're doing a huge, beautiful display. But if you want your seahorses to color up and get comfortable, it can work. And then when you take it off or just have the back sky blue, they will stay yellow. And that really does work because I've watched it myself. When they have,
Ellie,
yes,
that just reminded me. So that's how I got, and I didn't realize it, but the fry that I sold were bright yellow.
yes,
And what I used on the tank for backing because I didn't have anything else and I wanted to be able to for them to stand out was sky blue wrapping paper.
yep,
I just taped it on there.
yep.
I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool.
So there you go. There's a tip, y'all. You want yellow seahorses, put sky blue backing on your tank, no black. They
And
will.
take the rock out.
And I'm not going to say take the rock out. If you want a natural tank and you want the rock, fine, but I
If you
don't
have a lot of
advise it.
rock, you're going to have a very hard time coloring them.
I agree. If you want to color your seahorses and them to stay bright and beautiful, you want a sparse tank. I personally like macros with different colors, but you want less gray rock or even purple rock or any rock because they'll turn that color and they very rarely turn purple. I had a beautiful big purple male, but that's because he was awesome. Anyways, back to the point. If you want to color up your seahorses, put the sky blue backing. If they're not eating and they're stressed out or whatever when you first get them, one of the things you can do is cover 3 sides of the tank. And if you do it with sky blue backing, then you'll have very yellow, very happy seahorses. But getting back to what I was trying to say, sorry, is that one of the things I came up with I have a 90-gallon SCA aquarium. And one of the things I came up with was using one of the silly little vacuums, right? And they have electrical ones now that are much better. But using a scraper and literally scraping as you suction. That's my big tip for the night. All right, I quit. But no, it does help and it does work because it pulls anything that's coming off the glass into the vacuum instead of letting it go out in the tank. Because I don't know has anybody else experienced seahorses getting really like unhappy if you do a major water change after not doing it for so long?
I've never gone for a long time.
Not really.
I guess I'm the lazy one. All right, well. Anyways, let's move forward. Okay, so
Oh, by the way,
go
when
ahead.
Holly was talking about her sieves for those Artemia sieves,
Hmm.
I was just thinking, I didn't want to interrupt then, but I have a different preference for rinsing the food. I
Okay.
use a mesh net where the mesh is open enough to let out the small particles that are just pieces of the Artemia or the mysis shrimp, and holds the full pieces. You might lose the odd full piece if it gets endwise right direct through a hole, but for the most part, I do it that way, rinse it that way, so that I'm getting rid of the particles that are least likely to be eaten up by the seahorses, and thereby I'm helping keep my dissolved organics down, and any other thing that comes from food decay that's going to be, from food that gets trapped or sitting in the filters. But
For sure.
it was just a personal thing for me. It's just a way to limit the amount of detritus I'm going to end up in the tank. I'm born lazy, and the less cleaning I can do, the better. So if I can do it by pre-rinsing the food in a way that leaves less sitting in the tank, then I'm all for it.
Gotcha. Real quick, Marina, I only muted you because I was hearing feedback. You're good now. So I didn't mean to. Sorry. Ray, good
Oh,
point.
good.
And just for anybody watching, guys, we are going to redo this with a little more structure so that we can share all of this where Holly's not like going like this. So I promise you'll get all this information again. But if you have any particular specific questions about things that you've heard, is this a good tip? Is this a good trick? Ask now because we'll cover it now, and then we'll do an even better stream coming up. I did want to cover Heather Heilman. If I mispronounced, I really apologize. Is it Heilman or Hillman? Anybody know? No? Okay.
I'm not sure how
All
she
right.
pronounced.
Well,
I only read it.
Heather made some comments on the post and we really appreciate it. So I want to make sure to actually, let's see. Let's since with this stream has been so technologically messed up, let's see if I can do this the proper way. Let's just see. Because I want to share her image. Where's her image? Just seeing if I can do it, guys. We're playing with this stream since it's been kind of a wreck. Sorry, but I want to see if I can do it. All right. So I know you're seeing the whole screen now, but do you guys see the image? No.
Not so far.
Yeah. Why don't we see the image? I think this is what Dan faced last week. Interesting.
There we go. Now I see.
Does everyone
I
else though?
don't see anything.
Yeah, I don't see it on the stream.
I see it. I see it now.
Yeah, I see it on the Zoom, but I don't see it on.
I see
Okay.
it.
Well,
Line Wednesday.
I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna waste any more time on it today. Heather, your images that you did send will be shared. I absolutely promise. Apologies that I can't share them today. I don't know what's going on. But Heather said, in the summer, when the temp in the Seahorse tank starts to creep up, she likes to plug in an air pump next to the window AC unit and run an air line all the way to the tank. Or you could plug it near the vent if you have central air. The air pump sucks in the colder air from the AC, putting the cold air into the tank, and voila. It takes a bit, but I have been able to drop the tank temperature by a few degrees just doing that. Great tip, Miss Heather. And Ray, you made a comment on that post saying it might be interesting to put the opened end into a small container with a good thermometer in it and see what the output temperature actually is. Good point. And Cheryl said in the summer months, let's see, you run the fans, right? Is that correct, Cheryl? I think she said yes. Sorry, guys. Okay, and then we talked about pantyhose, which Holly covered as a DIY cover for heaters, heat guards, tails, blah, blah, blah. I'm curious, Heather, if you do watch this or if I get with you later, my big question about pantyhose is that I had such trouble when I was covering power heads or wave makers because it just seemed to impact the flow and be a resistance to the flow. So let's talk about that one. But black pantyhose look less ghetto. Gotcha. And she said something prefers something over chains. Yeah, we're gonna have to go back to that one. But anyways, I just wanted to share a few of the comments because we're gonna have to redo this stream, guys. But apologies again, and they are good tips, tricks, and hacks. And when we can do the further stream with us all actually speaking and our mouths moving at the right time, we will cover a little bit more. And Dan will be here and cover his tips, tricks, and hacks too, because his lift for a tub is amazing, and we got to have that covered. But Holly, you did a great job sharing your tips, tricks, and hacks.
Thank you.
You were prepared, none of the rest of us were. So A+ for you.
That was luck.
All right, guys. Well, since we're still freezing up, I'm going to ask. Actually, I want to make sure there were no questions that we didn't cover. Let's see real quick. And thank you guys for telling me as the video progressed how things were going. We will have this fixed by next week, I promise. And if there was any questions that I did miss, you guys, make sure I hear it. And Dylan said that his Inkbird is not working correctly. Any thoughts on that, Holly?
No, mine's been doing fine. But if that's a possibility, I think, see, I keep other thermometers too. And like, for instance, like with the, with that other gadget, the infrared thing that reads temperatures, this.
Right.
Anytime I think you're using outside stuff like that, I think it's a good idea to double check it, you know, with something else that you know is right and is working.
Yep. But if it's not working, what can you do? Or would you adjust it based on what you know the temp is?
I haven't had to deal with that myself. Like I said, my Inkbird works fine.
Yeah.
But as far as this, I didn't want to mess with it. I just went out and got another one.
Right.
You know, but technically, I guess I could figure out what that difference is and do math to figure out what the real temperature is.
Right. And I mean,
it's wrong, but I think it's consistently wrong.
right. Exactly. If it's wrong to begin with, you can adjust the numbers, but then is it going to be wrong again? I agree. So if your Inkbird's not right, I'd call the company. Okay, that's my answer. I would call the
warranty or something. Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, and changes colors based on the chemicals. Okay, trying to read them all, guys. If I miss anything, I promise we'll cover it next week. I don't think I missed any questions, did I, guys? Dylan said he likes the more natural color in Seahorses, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. What color will they turn in a green and purple rock environment? Black due to toy background. Yeah, I would personally say that any dark colors, like red. I know Dan did a lot of experimenting trying to get red Seahorses, and anything red made him turn black. So, and with typical rocks, my seahorses always turn silver, or gray, whatever color you want to call it. Some of them will keep their color. I think it depends on how their personalities go. You get some spunky seahorses, they're going to do what they want. I've also noticed that lighting makes a difference. Any of you guys notice that?
No, I didn't notice that, but I noticed that certain species were more prone to red than others. Like the reed eye, I could get them to go red. I never could get erectus to go red.
Right. It does depend on the species. I agree 100%. And I don't have the scientific data to actually tell you what lighting affects what. I can just say that when I changed lighting, I would notice a difference. And lighting doesn't matter to a seahorse tank. It really doesn't. But I just noticed, like, I think it was more the brightness, the per, whatever you want to call it, the depth of the light would make a difference. So I'll get back to y'all on that. And Troy, I feel like this is your first Wine Wednesday here, and it sucked, and I'm so sorry. Please come back. We have awesome Wine Wednesdays. We just had technical difficulties, and Troy said he did something similar with an airline attached to 15-inch tweezers to pluck hair algae and suck it right up. Right? So my tip wasn't that bad. It was kind of cool. Thanks.
You can also take the suction tube, if it's flexible vinyl. You can make a cut in it, stick one of the razor blades that go in razor scrapers. You can stick it in with the blunt end up into the slot, and as you use it to scrape, then it'll suck up whatever gets scraped off that way.
Yep. And then and I mean, do you guys feel like that's like, I always felt like that was really important, but it's confusing because microfauna is good. You want copepods and all that, micro diversity and all that stuff. But in a seahorse tank, it's just different, right? You want it clean. Am I wrong?
I want the glass cleaned anyway.
Yeah, you want to see.
I said we want to see each other. I tell those seahorses. We
Exactly.
want to see each other.
Okay, guys. Well, it's been a tough night. We were late, and then blah. I'm not going to apologize again, but I am going to say that we will cover tips, tricks, and hacks again with a little more organization. Thank you again to Holly and Cheryl for sharing your tips, tricks, and hacks. And I'm not even going to name a topic for next week because I got to talk to Jerry and see if we're doing that next week. But I will make sure.
Excuse me, I sent his email to you.
I saw it, and I will be sure that we announce the topic by Sunday. And I saw someone else. Okay, right. Yeah. So anyway, sorry about tonight, guys, but I said it again. No more sorries. Darn it. All right. So you guys say adieu, and we will come back with more fun next week.
Good night, all folks.
Good night. Cheers.
Happy Wine Wednesday, everybody. See you next week. Bye.
See you.
Cheers. Oh my goodness, what happened there? All right, hang on. I don't think I ended it.